Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Nerds 2 Movie Podcast. Today we have us three. We've got Giovanni, Alex, and I. And the two movies we are going to be doing are Sphere and Outbreak, both Dustin Hoffman dreamy masterpieces.
Dustin Hoffman's awesome.
He's not a fucking soldier, though. I don't want to hear that shit.
No, he's not.
Going into the first movie, which we're doing, is Sphere. Now, this movie has a pretty good cast, even though I'm not a big fan of Sharon Stone. But you got Dustin Hoffman as Norman, Sharon Stone as Beth, Samuel L. Jackson as Harry, Peter Coyote, which I don't know what else he was in that I've seen, but I did recognize his weird face. Liev Schreiber, Queen Latifah, Huey Lewis as a helicopter pilot are the main ones. Now, the big thing about this movie is this movie was a horrendous commercial flop.
To break you from that real quick, he was in Patch Adams, E.T., Walk to Remember.
Yeah, okay.
Mr. Peter Coyote.
There you go. Walk to Remember. I don't know about that, but
Yeah, well, I've watched it because of my wife. So
I remember him from Patch Adams for sure. Other Vince Vaughn.
E.T. I remember him from.
Yeah, he had like that weird, like it's like a squared off jaw.
Well, it doesn't help if you've seen him in this movie. He wears those fucking Neo glasses, and you're like, "What are you doing?"
Well, he's also filmed in he's almost portrayed like villain by the way they film his angles, and like you never trust him.
Right.
That's kind of how they portray him. Now, this movie had a budget of 80 million, which it says estimated, so we don't know if it's including marketing or if there's even more with marketing. So we'll just leave it at the 80.
Or they just don't want to tell us because of how big of a flop it happened.
And that was a budget cut, actually.
Really?
Yeah. So 20 million
Holy
was cut
shit.
off the budget. So instead of filming in the ocean, they filmed in a warehouse with special water tanks and saved about 20 million.
Why would you just
Well,
go
they
with
should
that
have
in
did
the
it
first
anyway.
place?
They should have did it in the first place.
That
Yeah.
just makes more
Yeah.
fucking sense.
So they wanted
There
to go
was-
out to the sea and fucking
There
film.
There was no
Not
bad
me.
CG in this fucking movie, by the way.
That's not
there
true.
was some.
That's
There
not
was
true.
some, but I'm saying as far as how it went, it didn't seem like it was horrible.
No,
Like it was.
it held up surprisingly well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did.
For fucking what 98.
I mean,
yeah.
to be fair though, there was an $80 million goddamn budget behind it, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now the problem with that is worldwide. This movie,
Yes.
This movie, it must have only released in U.S. and Canada because it literally says gross U.S. and Canada, and then worldwide and they're the same figures. 37,020,277.
Mm-hmm.
They lost straight up from these numbers $43,000 on this fucking movie.
43 million, yeah.
Or million, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is fair. I like the movie, frankly. I think the biggest problem with this movie is it got caught up in the Michael Crichton Jurassic Park hysteria. Of,
Is that what happened?
Yeah, because
Okay.
Jurassic Park came out in
Happened the same time?
94, and then I think he was also producing and maybe writing some of the episodes of ER at this time.
Nice.
And so this was like Michael Crichton's, another one of his properties is getting made. Everybody knows what happened with Jurassic Park. And it just, for whatever reason, didn't catch. I think the problem was it was too horror.
Yeah.
Well, was this really horror though? I don't really consider it horror.
Throughout the majority of the movie, it is.
I don't consider it horror either, but it's more horror than a mainstream thriller.
Okay,
at
yeah, because
that
I felt
time.
like this was like a psychological thriller to me.
Yeah. And this is the same time
yeah.
frame you have things like American Psycho and Dark City,
Okay.
and so you do have some weird shit out there at this time. And I feel like I do find the ending to be quite goofy.
Yeah.
In general.
Hated the ending.
Like
I love this movie. I hate the ending.
And
Yeah.
there's the whole concept of them, and obviously the spoilers are gonna flow, so get used to it, motherfuckers. But the
We'll
whole
do our best on newer movies, but the older ones, fuck you.
I'm not trying at all. The whole idea of like, we'll just forget. Like, how do you just
Yeah.
wipe your own fucking memories?
Yeah, it was weird.
Like, the powers aren't explained at all, and then it's
Nope.
just like, I went to the sphere,
And then it was the happy ending where the sphere just decided to say, "I'm gonna launch
Yeah.
out of the water." Bye bye.
It's literally the sphere got the grease ending.
Yeah.
She would have bop, 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 and they're just
We got
waving.
together.
What I
And then we
didn't
don't have to do that
understand was
anymore
like
because we don't want to stop.
they're like, we have powers. The sphere gave us powers, but if we forget and the sphere went away,
They can't use
still.
our powers against the
Would
Yeah,
they have
but
even
they
been able to
still.
use them without the sphere?
Okay, so that's what I was wondering. I was like,
I don't know.
are the powers innately theirs? Like
That's the
it's
thing. Is like,
yours?
well,
do they need the sphere to operate them, or are they just
Yeah,
now
that's why
like?
I'm like.
they did say what was that one thing they said knowing what we know, they can't use the sphere against, or they can't use us against anything else. Oh God, I'm lost on what I gotta look at it again. I just booked that up.
Giovanni, I'm not talking shit about your taste, but I almost feel like the better pairing to the sphere is the movie Chronicle.
Ooh,
Which
yeah.
one's Chronicle?
Where the teenagers find the thing and the one chart starts to turn evil, they all get powers.
I like that. Yeah.
Movie's badass.
Yeah, we're gonna cut the episode here. We're gonna redo this next week.
We'll see you in
Chronicle
4.5 days.
No, that was a good call. Yeah, Chronicle would have been good.
But I like this movie. Dustin Hoffman, it just I don't know. Was Jen? Do you find Dustin Hoffman attractive? What?
In
Well,
an old man way. He's hot.
What's that?
Younger years.
Younger years, maybe. This is 1998, and they're trying to make him attractive. Like, am I supposed to believe in anywhere in a fucking ice ball chance in hell that Sharon Stone would give a shit about Dustin Hoffman in real life?
In this,
No.
so later on in the movie, when he apologizes to her, he says, "I'm sorry for taking advantage of you." So to me, I'm like, you're a doctor who used medicine and your power to sexually assault this woman.
You're a
Yeah.
sociopath.
He took advantage of a woman in need.
And then he omits,
I'm
like,
like, oh, no.
like they never come out and overtly say who she called when she OD'd. And he goes, she called her boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
It's just
And it's like,
implied, yeah.
that's you,
And then-
motherfucker.
no, but then she says later, she goes, "Did you tell him who I called?"
Yeah, it's
she
like,
does say that.
that
herself.
was you. And it, like, and then like the whole thing is, and I'm sorry, I don't care if you're a clinical psychologist. If the bitch tried to kill me, and I had to go up into the water that kills me in 2 minutes from hypothermia, I wouldn't be coming out back into the thing going, you tried to kill me. I'd be bashing her fucking head in. I'm just saying.
Get the fuck away from me is what I've been saying.
Yeah.
You do kind of rely. You have to rely on them in that situation. There's only 3 of them left, so you kind of have to rely on who's left. But I would have told her, get the fuck away, keep your distance.
I do love Samuel Jackson. He's my favorite part of this movie.
He was really good, but I felt like his character from the beginning, his attitude was
He's
a
like
little
that in every fucking
off
movie, though.
from the beginning of the movie.
Jurassic Park.
Don't talk shit about him in Jurassic Park. Dude, he's fucking awesome.
No, I'm talking about
Please!
the character he is when he's smoking a cigarette.
That's a real IT guy.
Yeah.
That's like, he's scruff. He hasn't shaven. He's smoking cigarette after his cigarette, trying to hack this fat asshole's password. It's pretty realistic. He's got Diet Pepsi cans everywhere, like, or Coke or whatever sponsored it at the time. Let's be fucking
so
real.
true.
Like, you can go if you go to a place that's actually still got a full gigantic building full of staff. That IT guy don't look very fucking off after when it's Friday at 2 p.m. He's outside or vaping.
He's in the basement. He's in the basement where the smoking's still allowed.
Yeah, he's like, somebody literally at the 30th floor is like, do you smell smoke? And he's just in the basement, he's blowing it into the fucking air vents. I love Sam Jackson in this movie because, like, and I do agree, but you gotta remember they're telling him to portray a person with 2 PhDs, right? A genius.
Yeah.
All of these guys are genius in their
At what,
fields.
17 or 18?
18, he got his, and then
18.
Lee Schreiber got his at
His first
19.
PhD.
So they're all kind of socially awkward. But the problem where this movie like veers a little is they almost try to turn Sam Jackson into the villain. They do turn him into the villain.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and the problem with that is they turn him into the villain, then not too far after that openly admit that we're all the villain. In a haphazardly way of like, basically they just meet up and Sam Jackson doesn't say this, but it's the perfect opportunity for him to be like, when he's on the top rail and he's looking down at him, he's like, everything okay? He could be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, but they all meet together and they're all like, yeah, we went through the sphere.
So it's funny that you mentioned villainry. So in the movie, they changed some stuff from the book.
Okay.
Okay.
So Harry, Samuel Jackson's character,
Jerry.
goes into the sphere out of curiosity.
No, Sam. Nope. Sam was Harry. Jerry was the computer.
No, I know. I'm. No, it was the mixing up of letters that made him Jerry. Now, it was always Harry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the mixing up of the
the
letters.
decoding.
So
Lee
that's
Schreiber
why I
didn't
said
do it
Jerry.
right.
That's why I said Jerry.
All right, but
In the
Dustin Hoffman.
in the
Come on, Jerry. Come on, Jerry. Talk to me, Jerry. It's just like shut the fuck up, dude. Like
Give
I'm
him a
not even.
chance to respond. Fucking.
I'm not even
Shit.
I'm not even Jerry, and I'm like, stop saying his fucking name. It's pissing me off.
Give him
Sorry,
a chance to
Johnny.
respond.
it's so in the book, Beth is the second character to go into the sphere. In the movie, it's Norman. Norman goes in by accident in the movie. Beth goes in on purpose to gain power over the men she's with in her facility.
Oh.
You're muted.
Son of a bitch.
I wasn't actually muted. It was mime. I've been practicing. So Norman accidentally goes in when he saves Harry from it, right? When he pulls his body out of it.
Yeah.
And it
Well,
was
no,
just
he
like-
didn't pull his body out. His body was already there. When he looks up, he caught himself. He caught a glimpse of himself, and that's when he went in.
I think it was his curiosity. I think he's
Yeah.
there. Where is Harry?
Well, they're all
Like,
scientists.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
that's what they do. They go, oh shit, we need to dissect this. What's up with this?
And then in the book, Norman goes in last to gain power to fight the other two. But in the movie, Beth goes in last just to spite Norman.
See, that's
So-
that's stupid because like and the thing is the movie doesn't even convey
wanted
that
food.
very well. Because
It doesn't.
I felt she went out there once again out of scientific curiosity.
Yeah.
Like she couldn't be the only one not to go through it. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't a spiteful thing. It was like well they've gone through it. Like I'm a fucking scientist. I should go in there.
Yeah.
And more maybe arrogance than spite. I actually think the original plot line of the battling of the three of them is actually kind of neat.
That would've been awesome.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
That would have been
the,
a good ending.
That's where the budget
this-
got cut.
the story of her coming out saying that she was looking for food.
See,
That was kind of like what?
the one of the few scenes along with the eels when she tries to kill him is where all the cabinets are full of the book.
Yeah,
that
was
scene's
creepy.
that scene's a really creepy fucking scene. Man.
It is.
that would have fucking freaked me the fuck out if I was real life.
It was
And-
super disturbing.
The movie takes weirdly violent turns when it's like the Peter Coyote gets trapped in between the doors.
Yeah.
And then later on, like the entire like area gets flooded with his bloody water that was trapped there.
Yeah.
In the book, Beth was supposed to lock him in the room and drown him. Like she kills him in
So
the
they,
book.
kinda
they
like what
went
she was
less
trying to
they
do
went
to
less
Sam.
dark.
Yeah.
But that's some of the problems this movie has is sometimes it doesn't feel like it knows what it wants to do. Like it kind of portrays
Do agree with that.
it kind of portrays Peter Coyote as the villain and sets it up and then backs off completely. And then like it gives you the weirdness of Sam Jackson, but then fully goes into the villain role. But then when he wakes up from his tranquilizers they gave him, he's just kind of like, "The fuck happened? How'd you put me out?" And it's like,
Yeah.
he's not
why'd you do that?
angry.
What the
Yeah,
fuck's
like
going on?
like
Yeah.
realistically, wouldn't he be waking up and like whatever spears would be coming through the fucking thing because he's willing it? You know what I mean? Like fuck you,
Yeah.
mother. You know what I mean?
I do
The last
agree
thing
that
I remember was people standing on top of him, fucking dosing him.
Yeah. I do agree it
Yeah.
takes some strange tones, but sometimes it does it in a really good way. Like when they're first down there and Samuel Jackson's character is like, we're all gonna die down here. Just like out of
Yo.
fucking nowhere.
Yeah, it's very
I
That was
creepy.
before.
Yeah,
That was before they went into the sphere. Yeah.
And Norman's character, he did a really good job at like, what the fuck are you talking about?
that's the thing is like in this role is much better for Dustin Hoffman because it's like a psychologist role to where his witty and his quick talk and that it makes sense.
yeah.
Him as a tough guy soldier, like you never get like you get the feeling that as he's running through an outbreak, and we'll talk about it, like all the soldiers like, yeah, okay, this guy fucking shorty. You know what I mean? Like they just like, okay, yeah, whatever. But like you can see him and like and he does keep his composure, and one of the things about Dustin Hoffman is he enunciates and he talks a certain way that works well with this character.
He's got that tone too about his voice that it makes everything pop when he says
Yeah,
it.
he talks kind of like a doctor does in general.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
in all of his movies. So he's got that William Shatner thing where it's the same kind of beady bop from his vocal range. and I think he was effective in it. Sharon Stone. Unfortunately, her character is a biologist, and they're not studying life down there. So
Yeah,
her
so what
her
is she
role
doing
is largely wasted, other than removing jellyfish from Queen Latifah, who I still remember that scene from when I was a kid, and I was like, okay, I remember where this. Like, I almost have scenes of certain movies in my head that just kind of float around, and then I see the movie, I was like, oh, that's where that scene I remember is from.
It was
Okay.
for me. It was
Yeah.
the egg scene. All the eggs falling
when
from
they
the
were
squid.
dropping, when the one
That's
that
the
gets
one.
squished.
Well,
Yeah.
I do find it funny because like they do a pretty effective job of showing how much of a mind fuck everything is for him, because you have the whole scene of like Dustin Hoffman, and this is when she goes into the sphere, when he tells her watch my back,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
she said she was going to look for food, and that's really the only scene where he kind of comes unhinged, because
But
he
she
starts,
says that she left. She says she left because
there's no food in
Harry
the
was going to
cabinets.
watch over.
Yeah,
No, Harry was going to watch over him.
he said he was.
Yeah.
But the other problem is she also said there was no food in the cabinets.
There was no food.
So her fear is starvation. So, when he comes back in, he's heated. He's like, I was dying out there. He came and he saved my life. I'm supposed to believe you over him now? And it does really kind of show like the mind fuck that's going on. I would have liked to. It's an interesting concept though, of basically like there's still no idea where that ship is from.
Yeah.
It's been here for 300 years, but how many years into the future is it actually from?
It is human based, but you don't know where it came from.
Yeah. You still don't know.
The idea
But I
being,
do like that mystery at the end of the movie. I think that was the best part because it leaves you to speculate. You can come to your own conclusion. I like when movies do that.
They could have made a shitty sequel. You never know.
That's true.
I'm sure it would have been really bad.
See, if
Had they made a sequel.
for me,
Well, what would it have been? Fear Squared.
for what I would have right, what I would have done is I would have ended it where the sphere leaves our planet, and they show it going through space and going through the black hole and crash landing on another planet that's right outside of it, and it zooms in and you find out that it's literally just another dimensional repeat of what you just saw.
Okay.
Well, that'd
Like
be cool.
Like another
Do
dimension
some
of Earth.
Twilight Zone shit with it, because like you're talking about like
multi-dimension.
The way they talk is all this has happened before like that's why it hasn't been recorded. So it's a weird time loop kind of idea they introduced too. They don't really fully fledge out.
What the one big problem I have with this movie is the understanding of their power and how quickly it comes about. Like near the end of the movie, they're like, "Yeah, let's get rid of it. We can do it. We can forget it." But just before that, they were in a mini sub, and they were like, "Who the fuck is making up this illusion? Like, why are we back on the ship?"
Not only that, but like literally moments before, she thinks of the explosives and they trigger. Yet they're all in the same room for how long together, and nobody triggers anything. Like, I'm sorry, how am I? Like, I'd be the one sitting there, like, and there would just be piles of money showing up, and then there'd be like piles of money, and then weed, and like it would just start stacking up around me. Like every time I'm trying, like, don't think about it, and you're just seeing more, and like the occasional, like, Big Mac or something would pop up. Like, that's like how is that? That's the realistic idea about it. Like, so Dustin Hoffman is the one, like, he just imagines, like, the best bottle of brandy you can buy for it's $2,000 a bottle,
I think he was all about getting home, but he kept seeing Sam's Jack or whatever Harry's reality, and then she was doing the bomb, so it just kept going back.
I mean, he's the one who pulled him out by pressing the button, but the question is, like, what home does he have? He doesn't have a wife anymore. Like, what is he like? That's the thing, is they leave his past, I think, too ambiguous.
Yeah,
because it's like in order for them to really be super effective going into the psychological horror element, they needed to explore the past and have scenes like when you think of Event Horizon, like they explore the fact that his wife killed herself.
Videos,
flashbacks too. They explore the fact that the woman has a sick child that she's missing, So like they at least give you some kind of idea of like, Lawrence Fishburne's character is haunted by the death of his best friend basically at that point. So in this movie they don't really give you any tissue. Like you just know that Liev Schreiber, Sam Jackson are genius scientists. Hoffman is a psychologist and Sharon Stone is a biologist and or a microbiologist or whatever she is. So it's like I don't. They could have fleshed it out a little bit. There's a lot of scenes of them sitting in the rec room talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wanted Liv Schreiber's character to die, but I wanted him to be in there a little longer because I did like him, but I
Why did
did
you
want
want him to
something to happen to
die?
him. I just because his character was just such a fucking he was a power like he wanted to have his 5 minutes of fame or
You
whatever.
do realize
6
he's the
minutes of fame.
serious version of Sheldon, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah.
He was Sheldon
But I
before
mean,
Sheldon existed.
if
But
that's the way you felt about his
I
character, then I mean, that's the way you were supposed to feel about his character.
yeah.
Like, that was the goal
Yeah,
of the whole.
he was a pompous
thing.
genius.
Yeah.
Like I wanted him to be around, but I wanted him to just be around a little bit longer. You know, I didn't want him to die. You know,
Well,
I didn't want him to go out the way he did.
when they start taking people out, they start going quick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
You
At
know,
one
like-
point, two of them die at the same time.
Well,
That was
Yeah.
you had Queen Latifah, then the girl right after
Edmonds,
that, and then you have the Peter Coyote in the door goes around the same time, I believe, as Shriver.
yeah.
Flames to
Shriver,
the face. Yeah.
Shriver drowns at the same time. That's when the other guy gets caught in the door.
Shriver burns.
The fire
Oh, that's
to
right.
the face. Yeah.
He gets grilled.
So Dustin Hoffman's like how he acts like after that happens, where he's like, I didn't do nothing. I let it happen.
He froze. He didn't.
He was pretty decent. Like he's a good actor. He's good in both roles. I'd say no, but I don't feel anybody acted poorly in this movie. It's a really well acted movie. It's a fairly
And I think
small cast
anything,
considering.
that's
Well-
actually what saved it. Like that, they was good actors. They played their role very well, considering all the loose ends in the movie.
The CG really isn't bad. I mean, there wasn't really besides the sphere at the end. There really wasn't any scenes where I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like everything looked pretty decent.
So out of the entire cast and crew that they have for Sphere on IMDb, it's 12 people. Out of this fucking $80 million movie.
Well, Dustin Hoffman got 20. Sam Jackson got 10. Sharon Stone got 3.5. They said, "Hey, give us a beef shot. You get 5." She said, "No way, Jose."
I'm sure Sam Jackson got closer to what Dustin Hoffman got. Closer.
No, not in 1998.
Yeah.
No. Dustin Hoffman at this point is like he was regarded as like, oh, you got Dustin Hoffman in your fucking movie? Like, no. Dustin Hoffman, that's like saying George Clooney would have been paid the same as Sam Jackson. No. Sam Jackson at this point may make that, but I don't even know. Like, besides the Marvel movies, and I'm not talking anything about his acting, like, he hasn't been major roles in, you know what I mean? Like, his roles are usually, like, in the big movies, he's a side character. Like,
True.
the movies where he's the lead actors generally don't do all that well. Shaft. You know, like, Pulp Fiction, great. Pulp Fiction was an ensemble. Like, that's, you know, the movies, like, I love Die Hard with a Vengeance, but that's a buddy movie. Like, so, he's great, but what movies where he is the main star have been Oscar contenders and... Like, well, if you haven't seen it, there's a movie called Caveman's Valentine, which is a very small movie that he's in, and he's the main guy. It's quite excellent. And
What was he in The Negotiator?
Yeah, he was opposite Kevin Spacey.
Was he the leader? Kevin Spacey was.
They were co-leads because he was the bad guy, Kevin Spacey was the cop.
Okay.
He was also the bad guy in what is it called? The Gentleman one.
Rules of Engagement.
Oh no,
No.
no, the Kingsman.
Yeah, Kingsman. There you go.
Oh yeah, that was much later though. That was much
I
later.
liked him in that too.
Yeah, he did really good.
But that's the thing is like as much as I like him, like when you're talking about if you want to just go to revenue per movie of what he makes, you know, he's not pulling what Dustin Hoffman pulled from the fucking late '60s on. In '98,
True.
Sam Jackson's career was taking off. Dustin Hoffman's was winding down. That's the difference.
That's the true.
That's why I'd say that the pay disparity would be so much. I mean, but you can't tell me that 80 million went to all of the CG. Not when Titanic came out in what, 98 as well? Put it in those perspectives.
Yeah, and like I said, there was like one of you guys said, there wasn't a lot of CG in this movie. Really, a lot of it was actually pretty good practical effect.
Yeah, there was. I mean, there's a decent amount in there, but
Yeah.
not enough to justify 80 million. Like once
Yeah,
again, especially when you see Titanic came out in the same time, and I haven't seen it in a while, but I goddamn know it looks better than the Sphere does in this movie.
yeah.
Makeup
Oh, yeah.
effect compared to this one to the next one we're gonna do, Outbreak. Outbreak was shit compared to Sphere, by the way.
What do you mean by makeup?
Makeup effect, practical effects. So like when you saw somebody dying or something, when you saw the makeup of them getting sick,
Their
they look
doors
like
and stuff.
shit.
Yeah,
They look like
it was done
shit
pretty
in
bad.
in Outbreak versus Sphere, and there were like there's what 3 years difference.
I mean,
But
I would argue it's different entirely, though. I mean, you're talking about simulating a virus breaking down a body compared to what?
Yeah.
yeah,
But I mean the underwater effect, the way the bodies were saturated,
yeah,
like the one girl who was crushed by the squid, the
Yeah,
way her body looked, even the way Queen Latifah looked after when she was dead, pretty well done.
yeah. That's the thing is like the whole underwater tank thing is a neat concept to know because you could see how they were able to film some of that shit.
Yep.
yeah.
I mean, towards
Now I
the
don't know about.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead towards the end.
I was just saying, like you could see where like the water tank is towards the backdrop of the ocean.
Oh,
Like
really?
Yeah.
it's pretty noticeable, like the difference between the scenery and like where the actual water is.
Oh, I'm gonna have to watch it again. This is one of those movies I can watch over and over. I love it. But I know we talked about this, Matt. I text you today.
Yeah,
Uh, being underwater, this movie gives me high anxiety.
yeah. That was what
It does.
I bought it because for one thing it was cheap. It was only $6. I bought it on iTunes and I'm watching. I was like, they're in the scene where they're in the submarine and they're going deeper and deeper, traveling to the facility. Like this goddamn movie's giving me anxiety, man. It's fucking underwater shit. Like I don't. I'm terrified of deep water.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not scared of water, but like I
Deep
watched
water.
what's that movie that Anthony showed me where Cthulhu, it's a Cthulhu based mythos and they're underwater and they're miners and the facility breaks down. Eventually the creature comes into I told you I'm terrible
Underwater
with this.
miners. Underwater
But
miners.
like that movie, it's underwater, bottom of the ocean like this one, but most of the effects are CG. A
Yeah.
lot of like the monster CG looked great. This one,
So
the practical effects just added to the anxiety, like because it looked more real to me. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
uh-huh.
yeah.
What is your legitimate reason why you're have like a little bit of a fear of water, like
It's
that deep? What
because
is it?
I don't know what's down there.
Yeah,
It's
what
the
about you,
fear of not knowing.
Matt?
Because it's fucking terrifying, bro. Like it's the same fear I have of going into outer space.
I have a fear of water because when I was about 8 or 9 years old, a sibling, which I only have one of, decided to put his foot on my chest while I was underwater, and he laughed about it when I actually finally got out free and came out of the water. So I have a legitimate fear of fucking water.
Like
I fucking hate water.
like the thing about it is you don't even need to be killed by a creature. If you go deep enough, the weight of the water will fucking kill you.
Yeah,
Like it's
I have a
insane.
legitimate fear
Yeah,
of fucking water.
watching this movie, I was just like high anxiety.
Like
Like I didn't
I'm
know.
not worried about drowning in the bathtub, but I don't know if I ever want to go on a cruise because I'm fucking terrified of that shit. Like
I don't like pools, and I don't like being in
I
boats
like pools.
that are fucking deeper than where I could fucking reach the bottom.
I don't trust it.
Yeah, it's the
It's
fact that I can't see down there. Like I don't know what's down
Yeah.
there. I can't see down there.
like
It creeps me out.
you watch these videos of these fucking psychotics who go free dives, hundreds of feet.
Oh
It's like
God,
fuck
I've seen those.
you.
Oh my God.
Like that's Darwinism. You deserve to fucking like get turned into a pop can or eaten by a shark. Like I don't know what to fucking tell you. It's yeah, no, not I don't no open deep water. You know the movie Open Water? Way more
Yeah.
boring than I'm actually scared of deep water. That movie's boring as fuck. That movie, by the way, for some reason has a nude scene in it.
Why?
It's literally about this couple in the ocean. Basically, they get stranded until they get picked off by sharks. Before they go on the excursion on the boat, like there's a scene where they're in their hotel and she's just laying on the bed topless. And I remember even being as young as I was when I watched it, I'm like, these tits don't belong here. This is the wrong movie for this. Like, what is going on here?
I have not seen the movie, but what is that one with Mandy Moore where they go deep diving or whatever and they get stuck down there? It was most recent. Is it 57 meters or some shit like that?
It's a new Mandy Moore movie? You fucking...
Yeah. It's.
I
but
haven't
it's
kept
when-
up
when
on the
her and
Mandy
her
Moore
sister-
IMDb.
It's when her and her sister went diving and the
47
cage got
feet?
broken off. Is it 47 meters or something? 57
It's
meters
40. I mean, it might be 47 feet down or something like that. I
Where
think I
they
know
get
the movie
stuck
you're
down
talking
there.
about. I've seen the cover.
Supposed to be
art.
based on a true story, or
I don't know, but they made a sequel to it. But I watched with my wife, and it was kind of weird because the one girl gets pinned under the fucking cage when it lands, and the sister's there trying to help her, and it was just like fucking crazy. And it
See, that would cause me anxiety. Like any of those old school 80s movies, like Lethal Weapon 2, when they throw the girl into the water and Riggs is like trying to free her and she drowns.
yeah,
That movie's that's those scenes like that are fucked for me. It's just like drowning's gotta suck.
but it's not just drowning. I think it's just because what movie causes me? I think it's called Buried.
With
No?
Ryan Reynolds, that's a very
Yeah.
claustrophobic movie. Yeah.
That movie gives me.
Also,
and
doesn't
I'm-
have a happy ending either, which doesn't
No, it
help.
doesn't.
Yeah, no.
But I think it's just the fact that you're surrounded by something like humans don't breathe water. We're not supposed to be down there, and I think that's what.
Well, that's
Isn't there
like
another movie with Bridges where they bury his wife or something like that?
what Jeff Bridges?
Jeff Bridges, I think, where he buries somebody. He buries somebody's wife. Is it Kurt Russell too, or no?
Well, Kurt Russell's wife gets put in a freezer and breakdown.
Okay, so
And,
there's
like-
another one with the Bridges where he buries somebody. So that's another one where they bury him underground and like, oh god, that would fucking freak me the fuck out, being buried alive.
Well, that's like one of the, what is it? Is it, I think it's Casino when they beat Joe Pesci to death. And they're like burying him alive. You could literally see the stuntman is still breathing
Yeah.
as they're pouring dirt over. It's like, that must have been fucking hardcore to film.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. Like then you have there's funny scenes like in the Airheads when they go to put him in the closet, and he's like, "I don't like tight spaces. My mother was buried alive." Like, but yeah, no, that movie Buried is literally Ryan Reynolds. They built to film it. They built just this box for him to lay in that was open for the camera, and the whole movie is him in the box trying to call people and give directions to where he is, and spoiler, but the ending is literally like it builds up like we're almost there, we're gonna get you, and where they're digging is the wrong spot.
Yeah,
Holy
that movie's
shit.
it's super.
It's a
fucked.
very claustrophobic because he's literally like just hit the box that they filmed so it's open for him as an actor. So like if he wants, he could slide out at any time. But for the character, the height of the box is like the coffin height that he's in the whole time.
Oh god.
Another movie
Yeah,
like that which just wasn't good was with Tom Hardy. I can't. It's the character's name is the name of the movie, and the whole movie he's in the fucking car on the phone, on his way from one area in London to a completely different area or wherever the fuck he is, because this girl he knocked up is giving birth tonight, and the whole movie is him like calling his wife and like basically atoning for his sins, and it's terrible.
And the whole movie's in the car.
The whole
That's
movie's
so
in the
weird.
car. He's basically the only actor. It's just him on the phone with voices of like his current wife and like the people he knows talking to them.
London Road.
No, it's I want to say it starts with an H. It's basically his character's name, I believe, is the name of the movie. It is known for. I know what he's known for. What is he known for? Lock. The movie's called Lock.
Never heard of that.
Yeah,
I never seen that.
He's a dedicated family man and a successful construction manager. Receives a phone call on the eve of the biggest challenge of his career and sets in motion a series of events that threatens his carefully cultivated existence. So basically, he's about to get a promotion or something. He cheated on his wife. Bitch is knocked up having the kid, and he's going to the hospital where she is. And he's calling, like, you know, trying to get his life in order because he nobody knows about it. It was a secret thing.
It's super weird.
Staying away from that movie.
So the whole thing is like he's trying to contemplate whether he wants to be in the kid's life or not. It's a terrible movie. Anyways, so anybody have anything else they want to say about Sphere?
I still did not see Huey Lewis in this. I gotta watch it again.
I'd have to go back because I didn't pay attention. The only movie that I know Huey Lewis was in was Back to the Future.
Yeah, exactly.
Ronnie's like, no. I paused it.
I
love the Huey.
I love this movie, and I think the three main characters behind Alex right now, Dustin, Samuel, and
Miss Stone.
What's her name?
Sharon Stone.
Their chemistry
Catwoman.
is definitely felt in the movie.
You can call
it's
it
really well done.
You can call her the beef.
The beef.
We've got the beef.
The basic beef.
Not
Queen Latifah's in it, so it's a good movie.
That's not true.
No,
Queen Latifah was not horrible though.
She was actually
not
really
bad.
good in this movie. Yeah.
I actually do like one movie that she's in, and I can't remember the name of it. But she's with
Bringing Down the House with Steve Martin.
That was entertaining. That was about it.
I like that movie.
But she was with
Dead Presidents.
No. Common. She was in the movie with Common.
Oh yeah, Just Right or whatever the fuck it's called. Yeah, it was
where he injured his leg, and she was
he's an athlete.
Yeah, and I actually like that movie, and I've watched it multiple times. I don't know.
By myself while I cry.
Yeah, I guess.
That's the next words. My wife tells me she won't watch this Queen Latifah movie with me anymore. I tried. Alex, final thoughts on Sphere?
No. I'm good.
If you're looking for a decent sci-fi movie, one you don't have to think too much about. This one's
thriller.
A pretty good one.
They lay everything out. By the end of the movie, they do lay
by the
everything
end of the
out
movie,
for you.
but by the end of the movie, it was kind of depressing though. I mean, like a letdown. Not a depressing, but it was letdown.
Alex wanted it to be
was a good
Stargate.
movie. It was a good movie. I actually watched it the other day, so yeah, whatever.
Kurt Russell.
Stargate?
Yeah,
I did
the
too.
original the other
I
day.
love that movie. Yeah,
I love that
And,
movie.
I watched Dune. I watched Dune and Stargate.
Dune's too
No,
long
after
for
I
me to
watched the
watch.
movie, I started watching the series, so I'm gonna binge through that right now. I love Stargate.
I knew you would.
I haven't seen it in a while. I do like it,
It's
but the
great.
first problem is when I see James Spader, it's hard for me not to see Robert California.
Yeah,
You know, I loved him in that role, to be honest with you. That was
He's not too far. He's not too far from it, man. When he gets the luggage thrown at him, and then he has to go pick up his books, and he finds a candy bar, and he sits down instead of picking up his shit, and he eats a candy bar. Like
maybe
like,
he's just a weird fucking real life.
it's not too far from Robert California.
No, I like this movie. I've always liked it. It still holds up in my opinion in a lot of ways. And like Giovanni said, it's to the acting. The fact that these three are in the movie and they do so well with it. I mean, you got to give props to Liev Schreiber too. He was young. He did a good job. Like,
Yeah.
You know, the fact that you don't like him means his acting was effective. You didn't like the character means he did his job of like making the character kind of an ass.
Yeah. Well, like I said though, I liked his character, but I wanted him to die. But then when he died, I was like, wait, why couldn't they have him some more? So I was left with wanting more. So
how could you say you like the character and then you're like, but I
I
wanted
don't
him
know.
fucking dead.
I don't know.
I loved him.
Have that.
Favorite character of the movie. Wanted him to die. Just not when he did, you know?
Well, because I know his future acting chops too, and
I do like
kind of
Liev
like
Schreiber.
yeah, it does tie into that too.
I've never watched Ray Donovan, which is a show I've always really wanted to watch.
Uh-huh.
And he's in it. He also had that other
Yeah.
one. He's got a movie.
Was that like 3 seasons though?
He's got a movie where I think it's called Chuck, where he plays the guy who's like supposed to be based on the guy who was Rocky was based on.
Okay.
It's like an autobiographical movie. It's actually really good. He's also, if you've never seen them, they're on Vudu. Goon.
Oh yeah.
You've seen Goon? You know how fucking good that movie is.
Yeah. Goon
It's a
good.
hockey movie where he plays like an old school bruiser. He's really awesome in that movie. Like he's just a good actor, frankly. I actually want to watch the Scream movies, and I'm kind of excited because I haven't seen them in a long time.
Wasn't he in Manchurian as well?
Yeah, that movie was a little boring though.
Yeah.
It's slow for me. It's slow going. It's just
Yeah, it is. It's a very like, okay, come on, Let's get to it. Because the trailers were like, it was like a thriller. Like the way those
Yeah.
trailers were set up was like, what's the mystery? And it's like it was just a slow fucking. That was like that movie Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy with Gary Oldman and all the European actors. The movie was great, but it was slow as fuck.
Thought you were gonna say Toy Soldiers.
It was like watching a history book. I love that movie, Toy Soldiers.
Toy Soldiers is good. It still creeps me out when they fire the fucking corn pickers in his leg. Like the corn spikes.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. That scene gives me chills every time.
Well, the one scene that I still to this day feel weird about is when Sean Astin like gets wet in the little puddle, so he acts like he was in the shower. It's just a weird fucking scene, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, you were in the shower, and he's like, I was just showering, man. My dinky's still out. And it's like,
And then
I
he gets
gotta
whooped
watch that
with-
movie
Oh
now.
god.
I gotta fucking go find
He
that
gets
movie.
fucking, what is it, 50 lashes?
I hope it's fucking streaming. Jen would look at the trailer and be like, I'm not watching this 80s bullshit. Like, no.
It's great though. It's so
It's such
good.
a good movie, man. You got like a good line, and like it's
We
even
got
got the that one kid who was in Adventures in Babysitting is in it too.
Yeah. We could do like fucking 4 80s movies in one fucking sitting.
If you
'Cause they-
powerhouse through them.
Yeah, well, we like fucking spend like 15-20 minutes on them. I don't know,
Yeah,
20-30 minutes.
there's a lot of those. Like, so Toy Soldiers for me is in the same league as The Substitute.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like they're both the same. Like then there's another movie called The Principal with James Belushi, which is
I'm the principal, man.
basically The Substitute but more urban. It was less
Yeah.
military and more like I'm a tough principal guy. I got to prove myself. It's like the
He rides a fucking motorcycle,
it's
wears
like
a leather jacket,
the
has a helmet.
B movie
yeah.
version of Lean on Me. But I like the movie. Like it ends the same way Substitute does, where like the drug dealers of the school that are the main villain. There's a showdown with him and James Belushi and the other guy who plays the security guard, Louis Gossett
Candyman.
Jr.
And Candyman.
Tony Todd is he in Substitute?
He's in the principal,
Is he really?
isn't he? Isn't he the
No.
fucking the drug dealer?
No,
He goes,
no.
Who are you? He goes, I'm the principal, man.
No, that is not Tony Todd.
Oh, and then I gotta see what.
No, I was like, wait, he's like, in that
I gotta
fucking
find
movie?
out which one that is now.
All right, let's give Sphere or the hot dogs.
Yeah, let's do
Giovanni, you go first. Your choices on the movies.
I love this movie. I watch it. This is one that I do watch. As coming from somebody who doesn't rewatch movies a lot, I rewatch this a lot. So this would be an easy 4 for me. But for the podcast, when you really deep dive into it, there are parts of this movie that are problematic. Ending being one of them. The logic on some of the like, how are you using the powers? How the powers work?
Just
like how
not even it's the lack of logic. It's the lack of any sort of explanation.
missing, yeah. And then like there's certain parts there needs to be more connection to the characters in this movie, especially Norman. There needs to be
He's got no
some
background.
sort of nothing.
Besides, he
So
used to plow Sharon Stone, and then they broke up after she tried to kill herself.
And it's still kind of skeptic about how he got to plow her.
True. He's technically
your words.
a rapist, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In the end. So it's a 3.5 out of 5 for me. 3.5 hot dogs.
Alex?
For me, it's a 3. The ending is what threw me off at the end. As far as watching the whole movie, like you get to the end and then they all want to give up their powers, and it's like, wait a minute, like you have these powers to just say, hey, we're not here anymore, or some shit like that. Figure out a way to get around it and go move on. Like, go explore the world. You guys could have a chance to get the fuck out. Like, you have a chance to fucking leave. If that's how they were doing it, whatever they manifest, it's fucking showing up. But then they decide to forget it, and then when they come in to talk to them, they're like, "Yeah, we don't know."
Well, they don't even show that either.
Right, but that's pretty much what it is. And then they show the fucking sphere disappearing into the sky. What's that?
Which one
And
dude
that was-
sees? Just one guy.
One
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
Isn't that
So
weird?
it was.
We should probably tell somebody.
What do we do?
You guys see the
But
glowing ball? No.
It's a 3 for me. I did like everybody's acting. There wasn't a lot of cast in there to overwhelm you. So there wasn't a lot of people to deal with during this whole 2 hours and 15 minutes or 14 minutes of the movie.
The
But
cast is 12 people, including the fluff characters of Queen Latifah and the other girl whom they just slaughter after 5 minutes.
yeah, and then Huey Lewis. I don't remember. I don't remember at all. So no, but it's a 3 for me.
I'm going to go 2.5 on this one. For me, it's one of those movies that I don't dislike at all. I like it. But it is a middle of the road type of movie where it's not bad, it's not good. It's great for me for a watch every now and then, but it's not in like the favorites library. Nothing against it. It's just the way I review them on the show. It's a little bit more harsh, and I was teetering between that and a 3, but I'm gonna go middle of 5 because it is one of those movies for me, middle of the road, where if it's like, what movie do you want to watch? I would never pick it, but if somebody else was like, hey, you want to watch it? I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'll watch it. That sort of type movie.
Oh, you haven't seen this movie? Okay, I'll watch it with
you.
you.
I'll watch. Yeah, it's not bad. I dig it. You know, like I like it, but it's not a movie that I'd ever be like, have you ever seen Sphere?
I'm not going to plan a day to go hang out with Giovanni and say, hey, let's watch Sphere.
Let's watch Sphere and
plan a day with you.
Hey,
let's watch Sphere.
Oh, you're going to plan a day with me? Okay.
All right.
I got it.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with Outbreak, another Dustin Hoffman tough guy classic.
What are you talking about?
Classic.
Hoffman again?
All right. Cut it, motherfuckers.
And
welcome back. We're going on to our second movie, second choice of Giovanni's, which is kind of appropriately timed a wee bit, called Outbreak. Giovanni, what is Outbreak about? And then we'll go into the budget and stuff.
Outbreak is about a viral outbreak from, I think it's
Starts
South Korea?
Wasn't it Nam initially?
Africa, I believe, or
Was it Nam?
It was 1967. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was Nam.
67.
It's 7.
That's at least where they were testing it. What was going on was the first time it really touched down is Nam in 67 when they were initially testing the virus.
African village, yeah. It was an African village,
And then the second time around when they resynthesize it, it's in Africa.
That's right. Yeah. And then it's a viral outbreak from animal, jumps from animal to monkey to human. And it spreads,
which is closest to the human,
faster than Ebola. It has a more deadlier effect than Ebola.
100%.
But spreads like the flu.
Right.
Symptoms
of the flu.
At first, it isn't viral, but it's the one thing that's really crazy in this movie. They talk about how it's got a 100% mortality rate.
Yeah.
Right.
Like there is no. It's a goddamn black plague. You don't survive it.
Yeah.
And within the same day, it's it's a 4 or 5 hour turnover period.
They can't get a gestational period about it. They could only figure out that it was like in a matter of 2 days somebody died.
Well, it varies from host because I mean you look at how long it takes. A spoiler alert if you haven't seen a movie from 1998. Spoiler alert.
95, yeah.
When Kevin Spacey goes, it takes him a couple days, but when she gets stuck, it's like hours, and she's already got the red eyes and like the fucking. She's like, okay, I'm fucked.
Because that's the airborne version of it, which still was stuck into her. But yeah.
Now, real quick, just with the budget, this had a $50 million budget between Canada and the U.S. It was $67,659,560 to the box office. Thing about it is gross worldwide, so it had a really great overseas showing. You got 189 million. So all in all, close. If we'll round up, you're looking at 190 million it made worldwide.
Yeah,
so
190 million.
You're know on a $50 million budget, you're doing pretty well. But this was this movie fights itself because it doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Well, they have a $50 million budget, and an opening weekend they did 13 million.
Yeah,
which wasn't that bad.
I don't know.
Considering they did 190 million in the end.
Well, Avengers blew out what you could think about. Movies like Titanic and Avengers blow out what you think a box office should be. So it's like, in 1995, I don't know what a successful box office was. Like, I'll look it up real quick.
With inflation, what's 13 million?
We'll let him do it.
To now.
While I drink my beer.
Okay, so I mean, in 1995, movies with the most highest gross were Apollo 13, but I think that might be U.S. and Canada. All right, so what is inflation on 13 million from 1995? 470 trillion.
$1 million.
I think I may have found an inflation calculator.
There you go.
Okay.
You guys could talk about anything, you know.
Did you get
Input.
past the ads?
Input.
As soon as you open
Enhance.
So 13 million
Enhance.
would be about 23 million.
Okay.
Which still isn't.
In
I mean, in the pandemic era, might be a decent box office, but that's not an amazing first
it.
weekend.
No, that's not. Yeah.
I mean, not when you're in a world of Avengers making 100 million and movies that are really popular, but not Avengers doing 60 to 80. That's not a great opening weekend.
Well, really, what was happening during the 1995 though? People were still, going to Blockbuster instead of going to theaters.
Yeah, but there was But in 1995, you didn't have the VHSs weren't quick. That shit took
True.
years. Some of them took 2 years to hit to the VHS market. So like, towards the end, the production got quicker, but people were still by and large going to the movies. I mean, it's just this was also wasn't an era of downer movies either, which this is kind of a downer movie. A lot of the main people get injured or die, and it's a dark movie. In 1995, Toy Story was one of the biggest movies.
A lot of people die in
Okay.
this movie, so.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty rough movie all in all.
Not anybody that we know though, except for two.
Well, Kevin Spacey. I wish they would have shot Donald Sutherland in the fucking face for treason.
Oh God, Donald Sutherland's face though. Seriously, you just brought it up. Doesn't he have a face like of a villain? Like every time that
Yeah.
I'm
fucking
saying he plays a
mustache,
really good
that
villain.
mustache that pops up every time, or the eyebrows.
It's not only that, but it's the way he like talks too. He's got a certain kind of way, he goes about, I can't even.
They actually looked. It's kind of like a southern tone, almost.
Yeah, it's southern mixed with almost like fancy upbringing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like kind of
Yeah.
a proper, but not English.
Yeah, like think of him from a what is it, a Backdraft? Hunger Games.
Well,
He's the
yeah,
villain in
Hunger Games it might be one of his best performances because he's so sinister in that role.
Yeah,
I mean, President
But,
Snow
he-
is a sinister motherfucker, man.
but even in Backdraft, he plays the guy who sets fires. He was a good fucking villain in that too.
I mean, but Donald Sutherland, there's other roles that nobody talk. I mean, one of his big ones is Animal House. He plays the teacher who's sleeping with the
yeah.
student. Another one that he's really good in. Fuck, I just had it and I lost it. That's late. He's been in that's a comedy. He's in Beer Fest. He's the grandpapa in the beginning that dies and leaves that's why they take the ashes to Germany.
Shit, I gotta see that again because I don't recall that.
Like he's done some funny stuff. Like I don't know, you'd imagine he raised a dude like Kiefer Sutherland. He's probably got some sort of sense of humor.
Yeah,
He's a good actor. I've always dug him. Like he's been in quite a bit of stuff that I've watched. I just can't think of like a whole ton that he's one of those actors that like he's there and you're like, oh shit, it's Donald Sutherland.
He's one you recognize no matter what movie he's in.
Yeah, voice too.
Yeah, for sure.
oh,
Absolutely.
definitely his voice. His voice is used in a lot of games too.
What was he used in?
Let me see. He's in Space Cowboys, the movie. Voice.
Space Cowboys. I remember that one.
And trying to find that game.
I'm just looking at. He was in Horrible Bosses. I forgot about that.
He was?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in quite some time. He was in The Mechanic, the remake with Jason Statham. I actually like that movie.
That was a good one.
He was okay in Fool's Gold, although I didn't love that movie. He did that Commander-in-Chief show for a while. Pride and Prejudice I never saw. Lord of War. He was only the voice though. Cold Mountain I actually never saw. See, he's not an actor that like Art of War. I remember him in that one. But he's not like a huge as far as movies that I love that he's been in. Citizen X is a big one of his. I've seen that. The guy has done a lot. I mean, I'm just getting to the 80s now. I'm scrolling, man. He's done like a lot of proper acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, like Cuba Gooding Jr. is surprisingly good in this movie. Like
He
like,
is.
Cuba
I
Gooding
actually
Jr.
like Salt.
really,
Salt was good.
he really had a downfall somewhere because like I really liked him in this. If you've ever seen the movie Rat Race,
Yes.
he's awesome in that. Like, and then at some point he just like he did that boat trip, and
he just dropped off after that.
Killed his fucking career because it was land blasted, dude.
No, he was really good in this movie, and he played the role real well. Like, I saw him as the rookie, smart guy, but never seen anything, still green, you know. Yeah, he was really, really well in this movie.
That part where he's getting sick at the beginning.
Yeah, where he's
And
throwing up.
It's
yelling at him.
And they're trying to hold his arms down so he doesn't take off the mask. And he's like trying to reach up. Wait, actually, it's up. This scene that sets up right here and behind me.
So
and then Black Panther's father walks in and he's like, he's not there, boy. And
yeah. You are fine. Look at me. I'm not dead yet. God willing. But then the reason I say this movie doesn't know what it wants to be is because it's like it's part thriller about a virus and the contamination and trying to get the anti-serum, and then it's also part 80s action movie. I mean, this movie has a goddamn combat helicopter chase scene.
God, dude, yeah.
I thought the scene was awesome, but it's so out of place in this fucking movie.
It is. It's
like, and then to make matters worse, like you literally have them like Cuba Gooding Jr. is supposed to be doing a loop-de-loop, and they're just like, "Oh, we're going down," and then you just like the actors are like this, you know, like they're literally moving themselves to try to portray it.
Well, what about the scene where they go get in the helicopter and they're getting ready to take off, and you see the outside where they're looking at Dustin Hoffman in the helicopter, and he looks like he's so much bigger than the fucking helicopter itself. Like the side view, he's like touching the ceiling of the helicopter.
And then when
they show him inside, he's like down here. There's like about a foot difference.
By the way, do they really think I'm that stupid to think Dustin Hoffman is a whatever he is? I don't remember what colonel I think they said he was.
He was a virologist, a colonel virologist. I don't know how to say it.
So Dustin Hoffman,
he wasn't a military.
Morgan Freeman's character. Morgan Freeman was a general, and Dustin was I think a virologist. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was a biologist.
He had rank in the military. He was like a colonel or something, though.
So Dustin Hoffman's character, he does have rank in the military, which he doesn't fit.
No.
It doesn't fit him at all. But he is a scientist in the movie, so I guess that's why they went with him. Speaking of Sam,
he's Colonel Daniels. Yes,
he plays Sam. There were 3 options before Dustin Hoffman. Harrison Ford.
Okay.
Which I can kind of see.
Especially in I can see him doing that.
Sylvester Stallone.
Can't see that.
No.
Can't see it at all. But the last one I can see, Mel Gibson. I can see Mel Gibson in this role.
For the action portion of it, yes, but the smart side of it, not really.
What smart side?
But like him talking about the viral.
Where he's a scientist. And he's
did you notice there's nothing technical in this movie at all?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Like it's all plain like anti-serum. Like it doesn't go into any of that. It like literally is it's like the outbreak for dummies, you know, like we're gonna explain everything.
Even when they're looking when Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, Major Salt, when he's looking at the computer with the virus on it, he uses no technical terms.
No. Also, did you guys notice the weird smile he has when he's pumping the blood from the monkey? It's that weird shot, and he just looks at the camera, and he's like, "Yes, blood take from you." Like he's got this, gonna get your blood, motherfucker.
Speaking of that exact monkey is actually the same monkey from Friends.
No shit.
Oh,
same one.
Mr. What was his name in Friends?
Oh,
I don't remember.
My wife was awake. I asked her.
The actual actor's monkey's name as an actor. I think
it doesn't.
Her name was Betty.
Really?
It was a female monkey.
What was it? Betsy in the movie?
Yeah,
At least it's close. They probably kept it close to training.
but I don't know what the monkey's name was in Friends.
I know it. It's in my brain. I just can't remember right now. I've seen all
Marcel.
Yeah, Marcel.
I was wrong.
The scene where they tranquilize the like monkey is
Yeah,
so weird
yeah.
and like
So-
purposefully fucking traumatizing. Like the
Well,
monkey.
Does he want to shoot the girl or the monkey?
That scene is
Do 'em both.
weird because there's a section cut from it.
Hmm.
So when he steps out and fires, there was supposed to be a scene film where the monkey gets hit and actually backs away into the forest and then falls asleep.
Falls asleep.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
But
because
they
the way they showed it is
cut
just
it.
they showed that face of the monkey get shot and then it's like done.
Yeah, they just cut it. That's it.
I found that, and then like just the whole idea of like they landed a helicopter on Main Street,
Yeah.
stormed the news
Right off the
station,
side of the
and
house.
then had enough time to run
Oh,
out and
that,
get back
yeah.
in the fucking helicopter.
I know. It's
And the cops that show up are shooting shotguns at it.
Yeah, it's like ET. Like this
Well, like,
thing's
the
only got a
helicopter
20-foot
flies off.
range, sir.
and they're just standing there like
And they're saying, "Hold your fire! Hold your fire!"
if you really want to arrest them, report that hey, the helicopter flew off. We didn't make it.
Well, then you have
Nothing.
Yeah.
like so Renee.
Why? I was gonna say, why would local PD fire at the helicopter when they're saying that it's a military? Yeah.
Well, the whole
but-
it literally is like ET by the end of the movie, where like every local government is chasing them, every like federal, like the bridges have been blocked, you know, like
Yeah.
there's a fucking helicopter chase scene. It is that type of movie where it's literally it's like Grand Theft Auto, where they're like, oh, we gotta land here real quick, and they go get the host, and then they're back in the air, and it's like, oh, gotta land on Main Street to go to the fucking news studio. Then he's like, call this number, and it's like, how do you not just assume there's a terrorist attack happening at that very moment?
I know.
Then there's a scene where he's like, when they go to the records for the doc, and he's like, now do I have to cough on you?
Do I have to
And
call?
it's like,
Yeah.
what the
and
fuck?
He's grabbing his
And he-
hands.
oh,
He's
yeah.
grabbing his hand.
And then, of course, the whole idea is Rene Russo, who is also a scientist, is his estranged divorced wife.
She's very attractive. Man.
She's
I don't know.
not that good looking, bro.
I think she is. That's me.
I don't know.
In this movie, I thought she was.
I don't.
I think she's very attractive in Tin Cup too. All right.
It's okay. I don't know. I like, even back in Lethal Weapon 3, I wasn't a big fan. It was like, whatever. But
You're a tomato, my potato.
that doesn't make any sense.
I know it doesn't.
Jesus. No, and the whole thing is they're divorced. Like there's like the beginning of it where it's with the dogs, and I felt that. I was like, man, this guy suck. Like, how do you? He's like,
Those
what
are
do
some
you
nice
know?
dogs, though.
They
I
were.
love how Sam, Dustin's character, through the whole movie, it's like, "So how are the dogs?" And she's
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck?
He's-
Did you want the dogs?"
He's more
was
worried
a
about
little
them than
awkward.
anything.
It was a little awkward hearing him giving the dog a bath at the beginning because you don't see it coming up, and it's like, what's going on? What the hell's going on? And then you find out that he's actually bathing a dog. I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird.
And then you have the pivotal scene at the end because she accidentally sticks herself and gets infected. And basically, at this
Trying to
point,
save Casey.
the military is going to level the fucking town with the same bomb they used in the beginning of the movie to level
Yep.
the area in Nam. So they get the host, they find the host monkey, they start to synthesize, and then there's literally a showdown between them in the helicopter and the bombers in the airplane.
Yeah.
Dustin Hoffman's whole thing is just like, by the end of it, he's like, you're gonna have to go through us, and it's like, so what are they doing? You're just a dead fool who didn't save anybody.
Yeah. It's
Like,
I
then
know.
they still bomb the fucking town, but they drop it, and they drop it in the water, and it doesn't do any destruction, and basically Donald Sutherland has kind of gone on like a mad power trip at this point. It's just kill the current, kill Daniels, and to stop because he knows the truth. He knows that basically this is a biological weapon they've been cooking up since Nam.
Yeah, for almost 30, 40 years, yeah.
So then he openly says that on the news. He openly says that in the military comms channel. Like, the motherfucker would have been court-martialed.
Oh yeah.
Like, there wouldn't have been a military career for him after that.
Either that, or he would have mysteriously died when he landed on the ground.
Yeah, he would have been Epstein.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the whole
Hillary
thing. Is
Clinton
like
would have paid him a visit.
this movie is just such a weird dynamic of like it's.
I think it's because, like you said, it's technically two movies put together.
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
like they were going for the Congo type of movie at one point, and then they were like, you know what, this movie could use a fucking helicopter chase scene.
Isn't the name of the town also Congo?
No, it's Cedar Creek.
No, not that town, but the place where they initially started out at in '67.
Yeah.
I was reading some kind of fact where it was actually the thing of Congo, but during the time that this movie was filmed or whatever they're doing, it was not really the name of wherever they said. Shit, I don't even have it.
Well, was Congo written by who wrote? Was that written by Crichton?
I don't know. I
No,
love that movie though.
but
I don't care
the
what
name
anybody
of the
I
says.
name of the
haven't seen it in a
place,
long
the
time.
name of the actual name of the place is Congo, but they use a different name in the movie, and then it took place afterwards, but it's still Congo now, like almost
Okay.
for like
You've
7 years.
you've completely lost me. I'm not gonna
Oh
lie.
God, let me find it. I'll
Well,
fucking
while he's
tell you.
looking for that, you know the scene just before they decide they want to blow it up, and he's talking to the general and
Yeah,
the politicians. The pictures he throws on the table are actually real documented pictures of real people in stages of Ebola infection.
really.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's super weird and super disturbing once I found that out. Also, my favorite scene in this movie, this is what I want on a shirt, is when Sam comes into General Billy Ford's office and he's like, "It's gone airborne." What? But you said, "I know what I said, Billy. It's gone airborne. And if it gets out, we're going to be in deep fucking shit. And we're already in deep fucking shit."
Yeah, there was a lot of random like fucks that he would throw out there in this movie. Like Dustin Hoffman had a potty mouth in this movie.
Dude,
Where he's
I
like, it's
loved it.
the Cuba Gooding Jr. is like, it's spreading, and he's like, fuck. Like, and literally I had the subtitle on, and the subtitle's like, fuck. And it's like, he says fuck a lot.
He does. I loved it. Like, I want that on a shirt,
It,
like,
it,
with
it,
just him.
it literally goes from him being a scientist to him jumping off the side of a helicopter onto a boat, to which they've preserved the body of the guy who got it, who was transferring the monkey, and that leads him to the host who a little girl is playing with. Fucking, she's feeding this fucking monkey for 3 days, and the mom didn't question. Oh, that kind of sounds like a monkey, dear. What you're fucking you're telling me it's a monkey, and I haven't gone out to see what the fuck you're doing behind the house for 30 minutes at a time.
So this movie actually had a resurgence in March of 2020 on Netflix. It hit top
Oh
10.
yeah.
Yeah.
My wife was one of them. She made me watch this
Yeah,
right when pandemic hit.
yeah, but you know what the problem with it is? Is there's nothing scientific in this fucking movie.
Absolutely not.
Like, people are literally like, we're gonna watch Outbreak, and it'll talk to us about the patterns, and they watch and they think they know anything, and it's like, you mean the movie with the helicopter chase? That's the fucking movie I gotta listen to for science on the pandemic? Shut up. Still, I went into it thinking I was gonna fucking hate it because I haven't seen it in probably a long time, and I forgot how much of the action element it does have.
It's actually pretty good, yeah. And I feel like Sphere, this movie, falls in the same vein. The script was okay, but
Mhm.
the actors made the movie
Carried it
good.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree. I mean, Dustin Hoffman's good. He's a good actor. He's one of those actors that, like, I mean, I even like him. One of Jen's favorite movies is that Mr. Emporium's Wonder Emporium, or Mr. Megorium was Wonder
It's
Emporium.
pretty good.
Was Wonder Department,
Like,
yeah.
the dude's a good actor. He's great in if you like the Meet the Parents movies. He's great in Meet the Fockers and the third one.
hmm
Like, he's a
Yeah.
good actor. It's just some of these roles he played in the '90s where he's clearly in his late 50s, if not older, and it's like you don't fit the soldier profile. Like, there's a scene where they have them get out of the helicopter as it's powering down, and he trips on the helicopter when he's going to like duck and run away from
That's
it.
right.
Okay.
Like, then there's this scene where he's running, and it just doesn't, like, he's not a natural runner. Like, I don't feel like
Yeah.
you could tell by his body he's like, fuck jogging. I don't
Aside-
care.
aside
I don't
from
care
the
if this is
physical-
Hollywood. I'm not fucking running, bro.
aside from
Dustin
the
Hoffman.
physical parts of it, I think the acting actually did a lot of justice for the movie though, because this movie still holds up to this day. It's aside from the makeup, like I was saying earlier, the acting has done a good job of keeping up with the today.
My favorite line is like, with all due respect, fuck you, sir.
Yeah.
Court-martialed so fast. I don't know. I dig it. I think I do find the whole like.
Is that when he asked him about his wife? He goes, "But that is your ex-wife." Is that what he said?
No, this is when they were in the helicopter, and he's like, "With all due
Oh.
respect, I will shoot you down." He's like, "With all due respect, fuck you, sir."
Okay.
Yeah.
So when he's talking to Sullivan, okay.
Dustin Hoffman.
When he's
I dig the movie a lot more than I thought I would. Like I said, I didn't necessarily expect a helicopter, and it wasn't like 30 seconds. It was like 6 minutes of movie with fucking helicopter chase. Like there was a
long scene.
There was a longer helicopter chase in this movie than any of the
this
Rambos.
helicopter has missiles, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was actually a pretty
Launch 'em into
smart
the trees.
diversion too.
Yeah.
But even like,
it's well done.
and then you watch them back to back, like Sphere and this one, and it's like, in those few years, he didn't really age all that much.
No, he didn't.
Like, he looks virtually the fucking same. By the way, Michael Crichton did write Congo, so it's possible they're in the same written universe.
Well, the name of the country or wherever they went in the first spot, they called it something else.
Yeah, but
it was actually Congo, and then later on they changed the name back to Congo in 1997.
Yeah, but there's no country named Congo. Was it the Congo of a certain place?
I tried to find it. I can't remember. I couldn't find it right now, but the something continent of Congo or something like that.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I couldn't find it, so that's why I didn't even bring it up again. But you did.
The problem is you can't even Google like Outbreak movie related to Congo, because then it's like, do you want to see photos of?
It was a
Ebola?
part of a trivia thing that
Yeah,
showed up in the IMDb, and I was trying to pull it up again.
Got
And
nothing.
now it's not the same. It's not the same fucking layout.
IMDb.
It changed
I can go post on IMDb.
Exactly, it changes.
Like, did you know that Brad Pitt likes to eat live people? It's like, no, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me, IMDb.
Yeah, you can post
He
anything.
drinks
You used
up a lot
to
of
do that on
babies.
Wikipedia. You can't do that anymore now.
No.
You can still post on other people's pages if they have
Yeah,
it
you
open.
can change it.
You
can change it.
post, but it gets reviewed first now,
Well,
and
so,
then
does
gets
it?
put on the website.
so
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with the comedian Jim Norton. He does the Chip Chipperson character as well.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with his Doug Bell?
No.
So he's got this new character who's kind of like a guy who like, yeah, man, I was just sitting there with the comedians, but like he interjects himself into stories that never fucking happened type thing. And so he was on Bobby Kelly's Patreon show, and he said that he discovered Bobby Kelly, and that when Bobby Kelly was walking off stage, he's like, yo, Kells Bells, man. And so they went into Bobby Kelly's Wikipedia and changed his how he was discovered to Doug Bell saw him at the Comedy Cellar and gave him the nickname Kells Bells as he was walking out, and ever since then Bobby's been a huge success.
Oh,
Like
no.
you could still totally fuck up people's Wikipedia. I find that to be the funniest thing.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
no, I'm not made of oatmeal. Like, just imagine random shit you could do to fuck with people's Wikipedia pages.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, in closing on this one, I like this movie a lot more than I thought I was gonna. My memories of it were just kind of boring. Totally forgot that there was a fucking helicopter chase scene in it. But not only that, there's other
With
kind
Cuba
of
Gooding fucking piloting it.
yeah, and there's other kind of weird action in this movie too that just feels out of place. Like the fucking movie starts off with like a bombing.
Yeah, I don't know, and it was an aggressive bombing.
Yeah, it's just a
Like,
weird
holy
flick.
shit.
It's like
everybody's sitting there like all celebrating they're coming to get help.
It's like
and then all their faces.
Yeah, when that one hits. But it's like the director had a script and he's like, well, I really know you want me to make this movie, but I'd love an action movie. And they're like, well, if you can fit in some action, go ahead. He's like, okay, helicopter chase scene, machine gun shootout. We start with explosions. And I feel like
we're gonna kill some hillbillies in the fucking pickup.
Yeah, I feel like he had bigger plans. Like he had bigger,
the helicopter.
where he had like bigger plans, and the studio was like, "No, we're not gonna have aliens in this movie." He's like, but you don't understand, man. It's my vision. And they're like, no, like we gave you Dustin,
aliens.
we gave you Dustin Hoffman for a fucking soldier. Like, what else do you want from us? And he's like, he's the only actor I'd work with. And like, yeah, we know. We paid him 20 fucking million because of you. Like that sort of shit. Like, the guy must have been high on acid while making the fucking thing.
It was weird. Yeah, it was a weird flow. Like it started
That
as action, went into a virus end of the world
Yeah.
thriller, then back to action again. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
the breakaway hillbillies was pretty kind of cool.
Follow
That was
us.
a cool little chase scene.
But
Oh,
even the
God.
soldiers like, we don't want to shoot you, and then they start shooting at the helicopter, and the soldiers both like, fuck this, and they just light them up. I like how the guys like, follow us,
That poor
like,
family of 4.
we're gonna get out of this podunk town, me and my pickup.
that
Like, you're gonna,
poor family that followed them though.
But here's the thing, right? A movie like this, the way it shows the government doing total takeover, and I hate to get political, but does it or does it not show the need for a Second Amendment? Like the fact that the government can just come in and commandeer your town in this situation,
Without telling you anything.
yeah, had every citizen been armed and revolted, like that's where the not so extremist views come from, where it's like, this shit may not happen if we could fight back.
Right. Well, here's where it could have been a little different though. Had they come in and said, "Hey, by the way, this is what's going on. This is why we're doing this. We're going to keep you here to make sure you don't fucking go anywhere further and spread the disease." If they did it that way, that would be something completely different.
Yeah, but
military they weren't telling.
No, they're the same as our government in real life. They waited till
they weren't telling nobody anything.
They waited till it was out of hand before they were like, "Well, it's going to get out now, I guess."
Yeah.
Like helicopter chase scene aside, this is pretty plausible in today's world.
In real
something
world,
like this really happened,
especially if it's a biological weapon.
Oh yeah.
And I find it like Morgan Freeman's like half villain, half good guy. Like comes through at the end as the good guy, but like he literally tells him
he's a CYA. Yeah.
What does he tell him? He tells him, fuck, I can't remember. Oh, he's like his justification. Morgan Freeman's justification was, well, these other nations are making biological weapons. We got to keep up with them. And it's like, what a government shithill thing to fucking say, like, And then he's like, there was an acceptable body count. It's like, you pieces of shit.
Yeah. Well, when Morgan Freeman's talking to Norman, he's like, can you imagine if this ended up in like the Chinese hands or a terrorist hands? And I'm like, I get that, but like still kind of fucked up what you did.
It ended up in one of the most dangerous government's hands in this fucking world. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like,
but so from a political standpoint, it's if it were to really happen, if it was told, it would be different if we were told about it and as it was happening. But if it was something that was being kept from us, I can understand why people would fucking flip out and fucking go all,
Well, I mean, the problem is like in legitimate history and in movies, if one thing is for certain, you can't trust the government with this sort of shit.
Right.
Like, no matter what side of the aisle.
Why people don't trust the government, regardless of what side.
But once again, a pandemic hits, and they watch Outbreak, and then it's like, nah, man, we spread this, we started it, we did it on purpose, man. Like you have both sides. You literally have like the conspiracy extreme left, that's like fucking Trump did this, man, and then you have the conspiracy extreme right, that's like, nah, man, they did this to stop Trump, man. It's just fucking like both sides are just, the political.
My head can't fucking take this.
I watched Outbreak, man. I know there's fucking secrets, man. You can't hide from me, man. I'm an auditor, man. I'm gonna film. It's just like.
I'm wearing my tinfoil hat too, by the way.
Go back to your trailer.
Oops.
Go back there. Go sit down. Drink a fucking Bud Light. Relax. Like, I'm getting tired of, like, people like flat earthers being allowed to be accepted.
Oh, God.
Like, this shit was disproven how many hundreds of years ago, motherfuckers? Like, get over it.
The light doesn't fucking match up as you fucking... remember that one, Giovanni?
Yeah.
And then, like, some of the dumbest ones are like, how come we're not all rolling? If it's round, how come we don't roll?
Or,
It's like
or
it's
I love
gravity,
in that
motherfucker.
documentary. Have you seen the Flat Earth documentary, Matt?
No,
It's so good.
I have
He's like,
not.
if I'm standing here and I can see the city across the lake, clearly the Earth is flat. It's
Ugh.
like, no, dude, that's not how it works.
Ugh.
Like, oh, God.
Yeah, oh man, I don't understand that argument at all. Like, I don't get like how people think that the Earth is Dark City. Like, I don't get it. Which we'll be reviewing soon.
I can't wait. I'm so excited.
All right, let's wrap up Outbreak. Then we'll give the hot dogs. Giovanni, what's your final take?
Same for Sphere. I love this movie. I love it for what it is. There's a lot of weird up and downs.
It's wacky.
I would give it a 4, but I'm gonna give it a 3.5. It's somewhere in the middle, but that point 0.5 is me. Like I just love this movie.
Okay.
And you'll find as you do more and more of these reviews that you're gonna have to, like, you're gonna end up
You're gonna change, yeah.
You're gonna internally be like, well, I really like this movie, but realistically, it's a 2. Like,
Yeah.
there will be a certain time when you're like, I love this movie, but reviewing it, because in your own mind, you're gonna develop a certain level of standard where it's like,
Yeah.
I used to think it's here, but it's here now.
You watch it a little more differently after a while.
Alex, final thoughts on Outbreak?
I did enjoy it. I didn't have a problem with Dustin Hoffman being a soldier like you guys did. I had more of a problem with him having a fucking woman that looks as Rene Russo. That was just me, because he's fucking Dustin Hoffman, man.
Well, he didn't have her though; they were divorced.
Yeah, well, at the end of the movie, they're back together again.
Yeah, that overly
Anywho.
emotional scene where he takes off his helmet,
Yeah,
the face he makes is like, oh.
This is me. This is me. Touch me. Touch me. This is me.
Like, the face he makes is literally the same face my dog makes after I yell at him and pet him. He says, oh. Like, he melted in her diseased hands.
No, but I really liked the fucking movie. What didn't I like about it?
Rene Russo.
There wasn't much. There wasn't. Yeah, that was the main thing. No, but there was some shit that like how believable was it that Kevin Spacey could be this smart guy, and who Kevin Spacey is. Like I just couldn't deal with him being the smart guy. I don't know, but it was a 3. It was a 3 for me, just a solid 3.
Kevin Spacey's role in this is a cross between his usual suspects character and his Seven character.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
It's all Kevin Spacey though. He's not one that changes all that much. He's another one of those.
Seven, I would love to review too.
It's a good one. Do 7 in Fight Club.
Ooh, that's a good combo.
It's a hardcore combination of reviews on that one. All right, I'm gonna give this one a 3. No, fuck that. I'm going with 2.5 again. It's a middle of the road movie. Same concept as Sphere. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was gonna. I didn't expect a helicopter chase scene, and some of the weird action and some of the just vulgarity in the movie kind of made me laugh out loud, because it's like, fuck. It's like, all right, Dustin Hoffman, we get it. Like, you're upset. But no, yeah, easy 2.5, and that's not a low score. It's just one of these movies, and I kind of rate movies by my own personal scale of like, how hard I'd recommend it. Is it a movie like I'm recommending Giovanni Officer Down? If we review that, for me that's probably a 4, and it's more or less on the scale of like, it's a movie that I can watch, not over and over, but more frequently than I'd be able to watch either one of Sphere or Outbreak, that sort of thing. Same kind of concept we have with the Schwarzenegger episodes, because it's like, I love these all, but which one is the one that I could watch daily? That sort of thing. So
you guys brought me in on the live episode. That was the hardest. That was hard.
It's like, you're literally betraying yourself, because for me it was like, Terminator 2 is my favorite movie of all time, but is it Arnold's finest work? And the answer was no.
Yeah.
All right.
That was a difficult one.
Well, We've got the first episode with just us. It went well, I think. I'll watch it later. I want to say bye. Everybody, just make sure we're still recording. We are. Good news. I just want to say goodbye, everybody. Good night. We will be back next week with the Wonka movies, Charlie and
The
Chocolate Factory,
Wonkas.
Willy Wonka,
Yep.
and we'll have Lewis with us on that one as well. We'll be going.
Um,
Plans are to not only do reviews, but a deep dive. I'll probably talk about the 4K transfer a little bit and the comparisons because I've seen Willy Wonka through every form. VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, 4K digital, like every fucking
Nice.
format it's ever been on. I've owned this movie in every. I love this. One of my favorite movies of all time. So I look forward to that. Until then, I will say go ahead and sign out, and I'll let you guys do your thing.
see you later.
Take care.